Swifties, it's Ellen here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play The Great War off of Taylor's new Midnight's album on the guitar, so stay tuned if this is something that you'd like to learn. Alright, so jumping right into it, I would consider this a very beginner-friendly song. I will teach you two strumming patterns, and one of them is a little bit more complicated, but you can always stick with the easier strumming pattern. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and talk about our guitar. You will need it to be in standard tuning, and go ahead and put your capo on the 3rd fret if you want to sing it in the original key as Taylor. Today I only have 5 different chord shapes to show you, and all of them are open chords, so super beginner friendly, as well as 2 different strumming pattern variations. So I like to use both in my cover, but you can definitely choose which one sounds better to you and go with that for the whole song. But with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial, and we'll start with the chords. Alright guys, so I've zoomed in a little to take a closer look at these chords. Like I said, there are only 5 for the whole song, starting with D. By the way, if you don't know how to read these chord charts that you're seeing on screen, I do cover how to do that in my other channel, Forever Faithful, so I'll make sure to link that video right here for those of you who need it. The next chord is our E minor. Then we have G, C, and the last chord is A minor. Now again, just to point this out to anyone who's familiar with my channel, normally I do play my E minor with my middle and ring finger, but I do find it easier to transition with these chords if you do your 1st and 2nd finger, so your pointer and your middle. Of course, it's always up to you, whichever one feels more comfortable, but I will be playing my E minor this way for this tutorial. But with that being said, go ahead and pause the video. Just make sure you take a few minutes to memorize those chord shapes, as well as make sure you can transition between them, because that'll make learning the rest of the song that much easier. But once you have that under your belt, we can go ahead and continue with these strumming patterns that I would suggest for this song. So as I always say, if you're a beginner, the first thing I would suggest starting with is a practice pattern, which is just a simple down strum on the beat for every chord change. This is a great way to just get familiar with the song and know what word you're singing whenever those chords are transitioning. So for example, if we bring up the first verse, all you want to do is sing through the song, and every time you see one of these chord changes, just do a single down strum on it. So it'd sound like this. My knuckles were bruised like violets, sucker punching walls, curse you as I sleep talked. Alright, so you would do that for the entire song and just make sure you get to know where all of those transitions are coming up. This is something you do right now if you go to my Patreon page. I do have this whole guide available to download and print out, so make sure to check that out if you're interested. But once you've done that, the first strumming pattern that I would suggest for this song is an 8 down strum pattern. So it's just as simple as it looks. You're just going to do 8 down strums, and it's going to sound like this. Now you might have noticed while I was going through that I am accenting certain beats, so let me go ahead and underline those for you right here. So on the 1st, 4th, and 7th beat, you just want to come in with your strum a little bit more forcefully, so you're just kind of having a little bit extra, you know, of an oomph on those beats. And what that's going to do is really rhythmically drive this song, which is perfect because if you can listen to this song, it has that kind of like drummy, military kind of sounding drums in the background, and this pattern's really reminiscent of that. So let's go ahead and put on our D chord. All you want to do is go down, 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 down. But with those accents, it would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? So you would do that one time for each of these chords. So we have D, E minor, G, 5, 6, 7, 8, D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all right? And that's basically how you would do the verses. So again, I am suggesting this strumming pattern for the verses only. However, if you are more beginner at guitar, you could totally use this strumming pattern for the entire song. So the last thing I want to show you with this strumming pattern is if you can use a palm mute with it, it does sound really good. And again, it kind of echoes that whole like military drum in the background. So what you want to do is take the side of your pick hand and just gently lay it on your strings right in front of your bridge on your guitar. And so now when you strum, it has more of a like muted sound, and if you pair that with those accented beats, it'll sound really cool and kind of drive the song. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, So let's go ahead and bring up verse 1 so you can see what this all sounds like together. We're gonna go D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, E minor. Don't forget those accents in there. G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and those palm mutes, okay? My knuckles were bruised like violets, sucker punching walls, cursed you as I sleep talked, spineless in my tomb of silence, tore your banners down, took the battle underground. Alright, so you can use this for all of the verses in this song. For the choruses, I would actually recommend more of a full strumming pattern, so let's go ahead and jump in and talk about strumming pattern 2. Alright guys, so for strumming pattern 2, as you can see, it's down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up, and the whole thing's gonna sound like this. Now rhythmically, I know that this strumming pattern can be a little bit more challenging, especially if you're a beginner. So again, if you're not comfortable with this, definitely just stick with that 8 down strum pattern for the entire song. It sounds pretty great. However, if you are up for the challenge of this rhythm, let's go ahead and just kind of do it together. So let's put our C chord on. You're gonna go down, 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 up, down, 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 up. All right, so it requires a lot of coordination between your fingers. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up. All right, so that's the whole pattern, and you would play this one time through for each chord in the chorus. So if we put our chord transitions in there, it would be down, 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 up, down, 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 up, G, E minor, obviously, we are going a little bit slow right now, so you will need to speed this up. So at full tempo with the full strumming pattern and those chord transitions all put together, it would sound like this. C, G, E minor, D. All that bloodshed, crimson clover, the bombs were close in my hand. So again, I would use this long strumming pattern for the choruses because there it does kind of like build up a little bit, it's like louder, and so I think that this kind of matches that energy. And then the other thing about this one is that you wouldn't want to do a palm mute, you want to let that ring out, so it's one less thing to kind of like, you know, think about. But that is how I would suggest playing through this song. So with all of that being said, I think we're ready to play through the song, so let's go ahead and jump into the playthrough. Things you never did. 1, 2, ready, go. My knuckles were bruised like violets, sucker punching walls, curse you as I sleep talked, spineless in my tomb of silence, tore your banners down, took the battle underground. Want to have fun playing through the rest of the song with me? Then make sure to check out my Patreon page where you can unlock access to this as well as all my other Swiftie sing-along tutorials. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description box down below as well as in this iCard right up here. Alright guys, but that does it for my tutorial today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that it helped. If it did, make sure to give me a thumbs up down below as well as subscribe to this new channel. This new Taylor Tutorials channel is something I just started up. It's going to be 100% geared towards only Taylor Swift songs, so if you're a Swiftie and you want to learn all her songs, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And also, it would really help me out if you would leave a comment down below for engagement purposes of what songs you want to learn next. I of course want to cover all of the Midnight songs first, but then I'll go back and kind of like backfill some of the older albums and things like that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this helped, and I will see you in my next tutorial coming out really soon.